the live that I had set up for Mr. Manganas to join us today. So I had to send a new link, but it won't. I don't know if it's because I went through uh, YouTube or what. There's nobody even here, so of course I broke it. Because why wouldn't I? All right. I don't know what to do, honestly. So I have to do it this way, I guess. Oh my god, this sucks, guys. I'm sorry.
You're back.
I really hope this works out for Mr. Manganas because this is stupid. I don't know where my StreamYard thing. I set it up. I was up until 8 in the morning figuring everything out, and I had it all set up, and yeah. So here we are. Well, hey everybody, how's everybody doing? So I don't know. All right, here is Mr. Manganas. Hopefully. I'm really sorry about this, Mr. Manganas.
Oh, no worries. Don't even
I
stress.
appreciate. I'm so glad you you joined us anyway. How's everybody doing? Yeah, this is. I was gonna do a face on interview, but I am so nervous that I am pouring sweat. So
It's all good.
I'm just I have like stage fright.
No,
But
no worries. No worries.
so here we are. Unfortunately, I don't know what happened to the the StreamYard live that I had set up for us, but it is gone. So
Oh, that's a pain.
yeah, the thing was with that, there was a 10-second delay, so that might have been kind of sucky anyway.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to like keep track of the chat and everything, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah. So I have four of your knives. Well, first and foremost, this is Mr. Sherif Manganas of Manganas Steel or Manganas Steel. I I'm pretty sure I don't say your name properly.
No, Manganas Steel is correct, actually.
Okay. And then you guys are I know most of you are familiar with all of his designs or most of them at the very least. I only have four, but that doesn't take away from the fact that he is one of my favorite designers ever to grace the earth. So, um,
I think there's only four available, right? There's the Veloce Grazioso, Momentum, and the Ruckus.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought for sure because how amazing these are. I was like, he's got to have some others out there that I'm missing.
Well,
So,
like Kubi, when they first licensed designs from me, they licensed like 12 designs or something like that.
wow.
And they have been dragging their heels, I hate to say. Um, and whatchamacallit, there's still like six that have yet to hit the market.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. So
Wow.
hopefully soon, another like two or three will be coming out. Like, so fingers crossed.
Yeah, yeah. Because I know I'm ready for some new ones. I mean, this one I plan on eventually having every single variant of this one because I just love this. It's so classy. The lines are
Oh, thank you.
beautiful. I just love your designs. I mean, the little palm swell in the middle, just the classiness. Look at that. That's I'm a chick, but this is definitely a gentlemanly knife. It's just very, very classy.
With that one, I wanted it to like really appeal to everybody,
Yeah.
and for it to not be like gendered, so to speak. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? Just like
Yeah.
something that everybody could appreciate and find useful and be kind of like like proud to like take out of their pocket, you know?
Yeah, yeah. The I think you achieved that like
Oh, thank you.
very well actually. You do something that I love, and I call it like the hidden choil because it blends into the lines of the knife so well. It's just I don't know. I mean, how you did it is there's only a couple designers in my collection that achieve this, and to where
Mm,
it's not this really loud and proud choil. Not that that's a bad thing. I just mean,
yeah,
you know, it's not very noticeable. It just moves with the knife. So
yeah.
another one of my favorite designers is the Dmitry Ozarenko. So that's why I
Oh
had
yeah.
these ones out, you know. But I can't find my titanium one, but that's okay. We're not looking at his stuff. But the Ruckus, I would love the titanium version of this because man, when I saw the black and white though, I had to go full on stormtrooper.
Dude, you know, even for me, like they didn't tell me they were gonna do a Stormtrooper version. Like we
Hmm.
kind of discussed all the other versions, and that one was a surprise. And like I opened the box, I was like, wait, I kind of like this.
You
I
do, or
I kind of dig it.
yeah, definitely. It's definitely got that like air of I don't know, Star Wars, you know?
Hmm.
Pretty cool. I like it a lot. I have quite a few um black and white. I just didn't realize at first. I was like, "Oh, let me get that one. Let me get that one." And then all of a sudden, I have like quite a few black and white. I didn't realize I was so stormtrooper like, you know. Um, but I just love it. I wanted to ask you a question. Like,
Yeah.
when did you begin designing knives, and
Mm.
was it Kaiser that you first designed for?
So actually, it's kind of a little bit of a funny story. So I'm an industrial designer in
Oh,
my background, product, and I actually started in automotive design.
wow.
Um, and I had some little bit of time, and I started like looking around and saying, you know, I used to really love knives, but because of like school and my workplace, like it wasn't really like acceptable to like have them with you. And so I started like working remotely. So I was like, oh, you know, let me get back into knives. And I got a few, and I wasn't like super happy with them. Like I didn't feel like the ergonomics were really well resolved and all of this stuff.
Hmm.
Um, and Gonzo, of all companies, put out like a call for designers to like
Oh.
submit some new designs. This was like back in what, like 2018, 2019, something like that.
Hmm.
And so I sketched up a bunch of stuff. I sent it to them, and they rejected everything that I sent to them.
Wow. If only they knew now.
And so I just said, you know what? Okay, like clearly there wasn't anything that like really appealed to them, and maybe I'm designing stuff that's a little too like crazy to manufacture. So like I kind of toned it down a little bit,
Hmm.
and I reached out to Kaiser first, and they didn't get back to me like at
Yeah.
all.
Oh, wow.
And then I reached out to Kubi, and Kubi was just like, "Yo, we want all of these. Like, take them all," you know.
That's awesome. Yeah, this
And then Kaiser came back to me and were like, "Oh, we want to do this one and this one." I'm like, "Sorry, guys, I already licensed it.
yeah.
Um, can I do one specifically for you guys?" And I literally did the Grazioso specifically for Kaiser.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
It makes so much more sense now, like, because you definitely have your signature. I mean, I notice your designs, except for the momentum. I love the fact that there's this one that you can't really look at it and say, "Oh, that's a Manganas." And I love the fact that you have one of those. I think every designer should have one. You know,
Oh yeah,
that's just my
yeah.
opinion. And but these are definitely indicative of what I think your style is. And I
They
just
have the family sort of genes.
yeah, yeah, exactly. They're definitely related. So they're I mean, and I when I
Funny
saw this,
story.
oh,
Yeah.
go ahead. You go right ahead.
Funny story about the momentum was that again that was originally designed for
Oh,
Tuya
wow.
knives, and they were looking for just a simple like workhorse front flipper. So it
Nice.
was like, okay, like let me do something. It's going to be like simpler, a little bit easier to manufacture,
Mhm.
and I did the momentum for them, and they rejected it.
Wow.
And
That's
yeah,
crazy.
Kubi picked it up, and it's been like a hot seller for Kubi, which
Oh,
is like
yeah.
nuts,
I
you
want
know.
every colorway they have, I want it. I this is one of my favorite this is probably my in my top 3 favorite budgets, ever. So, I mean, I love it. It has everything like the thumb studs, the front flipper, the belly, the drop point, a really nice neutral grip handles, and
Yeah.
it's got the little poon a little bit so that there's a thumb rest in a way. I love the fact that the flipper goes into the body of the knife. I love everything
Hmm.
about this. Everything about this is just spot on.
I'm partial
Ooh.
to the JG10 one myself.
Oh yeah, that is really nice. Yeah. I love the fact that Kubi has so many different colorways, and I feel like they're successful with all of them, you know? I'm gonna
Yeah,
write that.
they've been trying to like um, expand their offerings
Yeah.
lately, which I really applaud them. I think like now the market is getting so like kind of competitive that
Mhm.
it really is important to like offer different handle materials, different like again like colorways,
Yeah. Yeah.
um, because like Kaiser's doing their Raffir versions, they're
Oh,
doing
yeah.
some like different colors, different handle materials like aluminum and things like that. Um, so
Mhm.
like Kubi to stay relevant really needs to keep up with that.
Yeah. I agree 100%. I think they're doing all right. I don't think they're getting
Mm,
um left behind or anything. Not yet, but I could see because of all these advances, especially Kaiser came out with. I went at Blade Show. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. It was I mean, and they look good. They glow in the dark, some of them,
yeah.
and they're just so beautifully classy. And I can see what you mean by that.
I
Because
want them to do
Ruby,
some of the Graziosos with
yes,
some of their new materials, honestly.
absolutely. This would look good in Raffier. So I, yeah, if I saw one, it would be mine. I mean, I'm sure they have uh, a, a ton of them selling right now. I know they are because first of all, they did the sheepdog and the
Hmm.
Gemini. They did all these ones that sell really well, and so I know that there's plenty of people out there that have gotten already the titanium and the copper version of this knife. So there's no way they're
Yeah.
not going to buy the Raffir. So I don't. I think it would be safe for them to move forward with that. Definitely.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Fingers crossed, man. I keep on like talking to Kay and telling her like, hey, come on, we need to do some special versions of the Grazioso more than the Aquaman edition.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because that's not going to appeal to everyone. The Aquaman version. It's you know what I
Yeah.
mean. I feel like there's a certain clientele that this spoke to, even though it
Mm,
can speak to everybody. But I feel like there's definitely a customer for this one. Um,
yeah.
I am a customer for all knives though, so I just it's weird. My taste will vary from a really stabby knife to a really awesome sheep's footy type knife.
Yeah.
I even have the straight back I just got from QSP. The only reason I have these on here are just this one was new, and it's the Osprey XL, and it's just a
Nice.
basically the showing a mixture of what I like.
Yeah.
But these two designers are obviously my favorite. So I do love the Devo Stout,
Mm.
and I'm
Yeah,
hoping to
that's
get
a cool
some.
one.
Yeah, I mean, I got the Timascus Backspacer at Blade
Ooh.
Show. Yeah, it it just sets it off. I mean, great knife, awesome knife.
Small little bits of Timascus are such a nice like I don't you know when you see like a lot of the custom guys they get like the full Timascus knives
Yeah,
and all that like
yeah,
it's a
and
little
a
too much
Damascus
for
blade.
me.
Yeah, when it's
Yeah.
Timascus and Damascus, I'm like, that's too much. I can't handle it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like and you can't even like see the details of the knife, you
mhm,
know?
yeah,
Like
yeah.
I like them as like small like details like pops of color, you
I
know?
yeah, 100% same here. Yeah, I wouldn't
Yeah.
want a clip or something like that. That's I like that, but I
Yeah.
didn't realize at first until I started really getting into the designers on IG. There's so many designers that think, well, Timascus and Damascus are the most expensive things, so I'm going to make an entire knife out of it,
Yes.
and it's going to sell really well. But I think they find the opposite. I bet you any money they find the opposite. So
Well, and the prices are so high for like all of that stuff, you know,
yeah, yeah,
that it's just like you
it's
end up pricing out your customers like really quickly,
oh
you
yeah,
know?
absolutely. Because I'll tell you the the m- biggest customer out there is people like us for the
Mhm.
knives you make. I mean, this is the most expensive knife here, and it's still very reasonable. And
Mhm.
your these are amazing as far as if you want a nice, well ergoed budget knife, and then you have your class for the funeral, the wedding, whatever.
Mhm.
I mean, it's awesome. I think this is such a this mixture right here is just perfect for everybody.
Yeah. And that's a bit by design because honestly, like okay, give me one second. I'm trying to
Sure.
grab something from my knife case here that's like right next to me. Um, I have a love affair with one particular designer.
Is it,
His
let me
name
guess,
is oh
Pina?
yes. No, well, I do love Pena. I
Oh,
do
okay.
love Pena. Don't get me wrong.
Okay.
I have almost as many of his production knives as I have of this guy. But there's one guy that I personally really love. And what's funny is I don't tend to go for sheep's foot. I tend to
Yeah.
prefer a more stabby knife. But the guy who
Mm,
designed this,
wow. I've never seen that.
Gustavo
It looks like the
Cecchini,
Hogue Deca.
you know, yeah, it kind of does. I'd say the Hodeca borrowed their knife shape from this guy.
Yeah.
Um, this is the ZT0055,
Wow.
and this
That is
is
really
it's
unique.
actually an older design, believe it or not.
Hmm.
Um, I have four of these, by the
Wow.
way.
I don't have not one ZT in my collection. That's crazy.
Dude, some of the ZTs are worth it price wise. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Um, but the guy who designed this is like an affordable budget or affordable like production one from him.
Hmm.
But this is an expensive one from
Ooh,
him.
I love that. Ooh. What's his name?
Gustavo Cecchini. You can find him. His name is GTC
Okay.
Knives on Instagram.
I know exactly who you're talking about now that you say GTC. Wow.
Yeah. So
Um,
this one, like both of these are really interesting. They have like different opening mechanisms.
oh,
See,
yeah.
this has this little like tab,
Wow.
and
That's awesome.
it tucks away and disappears on the bottom there.
Yeah.
And then this guy has the Lee Williams kickstop.
Nice.
So that also disappears, and
Wow.
you can actually like choke up on this guy pretty easily.
Yeah.
So when I started getting into knives, I found this guy and I became like super obsessed with his designs. It's not for everybody. I mean, like the lines are very odd and the shapes are very different from the
But
norm.
but they work.
They do.
Yeah.
And the thing is, like, I realized, I said, wow, like this guy's doing amazing things, but his knives cost. I mean, a custom knife by him usually, like on the low end, is 3,000.
Oh my
You know,
God. Yeah.
yeah, like you're looking at 5 to 7 for one of his like proper customs. And I said, dude, like I can never justify that for a knife. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
I want to make knives that I can afford
Yeah.
that give me that same feeling. You know,
Yes.
um,
Yes.
and that's he has been a massive inspiration to me. But I definitely am like, okay, this is as much as I can afford from him. The fact that I have even 4 of these was like an accident.
Oops.
Um,
That's funny.
but yeah, like I just think that there's an opportunity to design really like wild out there stuff,
Yeah. Yeah.
that is beautiful but is also affordable.
Oh yeah. Which brings me to my next question. Do you have the ability to make any customs yourself?
Unfortunately, no. I moved from an apartment in downtown Los Angeles to a new place up in Northern California, and I do not have the room space or between like my day job,
Yeah.
have the ability to really invest into like hand making stuff right now.
Oh,
Unfortunately, as much as I'd like to,
yeah.
it's just not practical,
Yeah,
truly.
yeah. Oh, that's understandable. I mean, what's
Yeah.
awesome is that you still have the ability to design them though. I
Mm.
think that's the main prize for me if I were to be able to design a knife. I think that that is my ultimate dream come true because the it I meant it literally when I named my my channel Stella's Knife Obsession because all I do think about and care about as far as inanimate objects are knives. That's it. I love my living things in my life. Don't get me
Of
wrong, but
course.
that's separate. It's
Yeah.
I wouldn't give up a life for my knife collection or anything, but
Yeah.
but I might be called a liar by saying that, but yeah, it is definitely something I obsess constantly over, and if I could design a knife, that would be ultimate for me, man. So that's
I'd
I had
say
to ask.
like I'd say venture into it. I mean, like, here's the thing. Like, some people who design knives are like overly competitive and will tell you like, "Oh, don't bother." I'll tell you, it's not easy to get your knife selected,
Yeah.
right? Like, you have to. I have 12 designs already finished, the 3D modeling already done,
Sweet.
ready to go, and I submitted them to Kaiser and they all got rejected recently.
Wow.
Yeah,
What about? I wanted to talk about something I feel like was
sure.
wrong. The Comet. I don't know about. It's a nice knife. Don't get me wrong, and I'm not knocking the design. I just feel like you got ripped off and Kaiser facilitated that. So I don't know if you can talk about that or not,
Yeah,
but
no, see, for me, there's enough difference in the design between the size, blade shape, handle shape, and so forth. Like,
mhm.
I do not see it as a ripoff personally.
Oh, good.
Um, yeah, like I don't feel like some kind of way about it at all.
Good.
It's a different design ethos. I guess you
Yeah.
could say.
Okay.
Um, for me, yeah, there's like, for example, there's a reason I don't venture below 3.3 inches, for example,
Okay.
because I found that below 3.3 inches, okay, that's not entirely true. I have designed some mini Graziosos for Kaiser,
Oh,
which,
sweet.
yeah, fingers crossed they do come out with. But generally, I don't, because you start excluding people of different hand sizes.
Yeah.
3.3 inches tends to be the minimum for somebody with like extra large hands and still fit somebody with medium to small hands as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
Um, the Comet breaks that rule, for example. It's like right at around 3 inches. There's again a reason why I designed the blade shape the way I did, the recurve, the harpoon, all of
Yeah.
that stuff. Like it was all very deliberately thought out, you know.
Yeah.
So for me, I just see it as like a variance on a different design approach, you know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like,
Ah,
um,
I'm glad that you explained how you feel to me because
yeah.
I was like, man, I wonder how he feels. I just felt like, whoa, what's going on here? And I
Mhm.
refused to buy one. But now that I know that you don't feel the way I do, I wouldn't mind having one.
Yeah,
Um,
no, I think it's a very attractive knife. I think it's a very attractive knife, and
Definitely.
the only reason I haven't picked one up is twofold. Actually, one, I have a lot of knives as
Yeah.
is,
Yeah.
um, and two, the size factor really for me. Like if you're below 3.3 inches and like a handle of like four and a quarter, four and a half,
Yeah.
you gotta it's very rare, but I will pick them up, but the ergos have to be just
Yeah.
perfection, you know?
Absolutely. Yeah, you do have
Um,
some meaty paws, man. I see
yeah, yeah.
all your which brings me to the fact that you have a YouTube channel and only
Mm.
190 subs. That doesn't seem right to me. You guys look up the real Sharif Manganas because his collection is phenomenal, and then you get to see his meaty paws.
Yeah,
It,
and I don't know. It's I guess I don't have the followers largely because like I'm not talking about all the newest, most relevant stuff, you know?
hmm
But I'm taking a different. I mean, I don't want to sit here and compete, for example, with like Jared and other guys who are doing like regular reviews. Like I
Thank
take
you.
a different approach, you know, where
Yeah,
like I'm talking about design, purely
yeah, yeah.
about design and like the logic behind things and why certain things have entered into my collection versus other things,
Well,
you
that's
know?
why I love your channel so much because you
Oh,
focus
thank
on
you.
things like that. You're a knife designer, so you're an engineer, right? So, uh,
I have a little bit of an engineering background, actually. That was what I studied first.
yeah. See,
But
I
I dropped out of engineering school. I will admit.
yeah. Well, either way, you have a
uh,
way better idea than I do. That's why I love watching your stuff. I just plus
well,
the
see, and
stuff you show is beautiful.
thank you. But see,
Yes,
this is
yes.
why I was saying, like, uh, don't shy away from designing your own knife. You know, because I feel that everybody has a perspective and
Mhm.
priorities, right?
Mhm.
Um, and the market and the concept of a knife is diverse enough because it's a tool, right?
Mhm.
What makes
Mhm.
a good
Yeah.
tool for me may not make a good tool for you or the next person.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
so if you have a perspective, like think about it, like you do. You said you obsess over these things.
Mhm.
So I'd say don't shy away because again, there are going to be things that you want to see that don't exist out there currently.
Yeah.
And like for me, that the Grazioso was a perfect example of that. Like I didn't see a
Totally.
knife that was a gentleman's knife that could fit my hands,
Yeah.
but also be beautiful, you
Yeah.
know?
Definitely.
And there are people who were doing that concept, but then, for example, like the blade geometry would be terrible, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
Um, there's a well-known designer who I won't name by names because I don't want to start any smack talk, but they did get their knives largely manufactured in Italy. That's all I'll say. But
Okay.
con-
I
consistently, like the blade geometry on their stuff is really terrible for like being the delicate kind of knives they design, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, and so, like, that frustrated me. So I was like, okay, if I'm going to design something, like, it's got to fit my hands. It can't have any weird, like, weird ergo niggles and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it actually has to be useful for me. Like, I take down cardboard boxes with my Graziosos, like, all the time,
Yeah,
you know?
absolutely. Me too. I love it. Yeah. I've gotten
And
more compliments on this than a lot of the knives that cost more than double. It's like, you know,
it,
it's crazy. Another one thing I did want to bring up real quick because I saw the question in the
yeah.
chat. Do you foresee any fixed blades in the future?
Ooh, yeah. So, okay. Yes, but maybe not the one that people kind of want. I guess I could say, or would necessarily want it. Not at first, at least. So,
Hmm.
um, most of my knives like play a double role. Like the reason I'm not a huge fan of sheep's foot typically, and I do make an exception for like Gustavo Cecchini,
Hmm.
is because I do think a knife, as well as being like an EDC tool, should be there for you in the case of an emergency. Like
Oh
if you
yeah.
need to defend yourself, like um,
Yeah.
God forbid you have to,
Hmm.
but it should be able to play that role in your life if you need it to.
Yeah.
Um, so when it comes to fixed blades, I have a design. I did a little discussion about it in my YouTube channel where I kind of want to do a pakal, like folding knife.
Oh, okay.
And pakals are the kind of knives that have like a reverse blade. So like you actually
Yeah.
hold it, you know, like this, or you would hold it like this, but the blade is on the other side, right?
Yeah, I love those, honestly.
And yeah, I want to do kind of like a gentleman's pakal that can. It kind of looks like a sway back, but is pakal, you know. Um,
Yeah. There's um
so
there's a guy
mhm.
that designs those and I can't think of who it is right now. I think it's Tiguous.
Ed, Ed's menu. He does. Yeah, he occasionally does. The OG is Ed's Manifesto.
Oh, okay, okay, yeah.
Yeah, Ed
Man, that's a great
Calderon.
idea. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Okay.
and so I want to do a fixed blade version of my design. So, um, like I have. Where did I put it away? I think I did. I have a couple of Picals and that are based on the Ed Manifesto design, and I have a fixed blade, and I'm like, you know what this kind of needs? This kind of needs like a karambit ring and like a few other details
Speaking
that
of,
like I kind of want to do because
yeah. Ah, that sounds awesome.
yeah, a little bit about me is like I've always lived either by choice or by accident in kind of like tough areas or violent areas in my lifetime. Like I grew up in Detroit in the 80s and 90s.
Me too. Well,
Um,
not Detroit, but Ohio.
yeah.
Pretty much every part of Ohio.
And then like I've been with like my past work and like the favelas in Brazil. I've lived in downtown LA, like before and after like the George Floyd like protests and riots that happened, and like
Wow.
yeah, having something that is defensive like a Pakal is pretty much your best bet. You
Yeah.
know, you
Yeah.
don't need training to be able to use it. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
um,
That's
so
a
to
great idea.
answer the fixed blade question, that will be my first, without
Also,
question.
that sounds
After
like
that,
what I'm looking for. I am picky.
yeah,
I'm really picky when it comes to what do you call it? Fixed blades because I don't have one that's mine specifically yet, but I do like the Harpoon and the Baby by Kaiser. But
okay,
I think if I were to carry one, because I have a couple of subscribers that are friends of mine that let me borrow their knives, and one of them actually loaned me the Baby and the Harpoon, and I did
mm,
carry the Harpoon, and I love that thing. I think that one is, if as far as picking something already on the market
yeah.
from a person or a company I'm familiar with, it would be the Harpoon right now. So,
How much do they go for? Do you know?
oh gosh, they're like between 50 and $80, I think. They're not even
Okay,
$100. Yeah. Super cheap.
wow.
They're super useful, but great steel. I mean, and the
Mm,
Harpoon comes coated, so it might be D2 or N690, I can't remember.
okay,
Um I can't quite remember that, but they do have really great PVD coating on it, and it's just it's good for so many different types of situations, like you're saying. You can use
yeah,
it to survive in the wilderness, but you could also
nice,
defend yourself with it, and I love that. And that's kind of what I personally would want from a good fixed blade. So, but it's got to
dude.
be I don't want to carry a 10-inch, fixed blade on my side. I'm not that kind
Yeah,
of chick.
yeah. No, you
Yeah.
know which one I highly recommend to a lot of people actually is the Sea Snake by Mike Emler, and made by
Mm.
Artisan Cutlery.
Oh,
Um,
I'll look it up.
let me go grab it actually.
Okay, cool.
Here. Luckily, my knives are very close by.
Mine too. all all my suitcases with knives are right next to me.
Oh, and I'll grab my Pakal while I'm at it. So, uh, yeah, I did a little thing with this guy again on the YouTube. This is the sea
Ooh.
snake.
Oh, I love that. I have seen that. I didn't know Mike Emler did
Yeah,
that.
yeah. This is like his thing. It's really great. Like for me, is like a three finger back here, but he
Yeah.
has this really nice like full finger choil, so you can really grab it with four fingers, and you can use it. This is amazing for like opening, taking down boxes,
Oh yeah.
uh, as well as being a good defensive tool if you need it. You know?
Yeah. Here's the Harpoon
Oh
I was
yeah,
so it's it's a big difference between just an it is D2. So I'm glad that they did code it. I'm not
yeah.
a fan of D2 right now. So I go off and on with them though. With D2, I mean. But I love
D2,
this thing.
depending on the heat treat, can be really good.
Yeah. Um,
Like
I think
I've
I
had
just got
some
a
that's
blue.
never rusted and
Yeah.
keeps like a crazy edge. You know?
Yeah.
It just depends on the luck of the draw sometimes. But
Oh
that
yeah.
looks
I
nice.
This is nice. This micarta is probably the most delicious micarta I've ever had on a, it's not my knife, but I love
Mm.
this. The way they did that micarta, they contoured the scales so it's nice and thick for someone with
Oh yeah.
bigger hands like yourself, and but someone with smaller hands like myself. I have big fat girl hands, and it works for me. And then you have that spot for your thumb
Nice.
to rest. It's just perfect, especially for bushcrafting. But it does have that, you know, that
Yeah. That
aspect.
stabby factor.
Yes, yes. But I
Oh,
love the fact that they made the this it's a clam style, but they made it to where you can carry it scout carry. I would prefer
yeah.
that because you can't see it. And this
Yeah.
knife is the perfect size to just blend in. It doesn't you can't see it at
Mm.
all. It's great. So that's what I love about that. And then you have this one I was severely impressed with. It's the CRK CJRB crap, I can't think of the name of it. I know someone in my comments knows what it is. What is it? But this is their proprietary steel. It's the Hyperlight, I think. Something like
Okay.
that. Um, it is awesome. It's this I don't think that you just in your description to me, I don't think you would like it, but I think it's definitely worth a look. I
Okay.
love the blood groove, I guess, or fuller, whatever you want to call it, on the
Yeah.
Hyperlight. That's it. This one is also not mine. It's my friends. I don't have any myself, honestly. So it is nice that I actually have these to show you what I mean. But I
Yeah.
like this because it has a small handle but a larger blade. It
Mm.
does have a slight recurve. It has jimping. This I think is good, but it stands true to its name, the Hyperlight. It's definitely
Yeah.
like ounces, like a couple ounces. It's super
Oh,
light.
dang.
Yeah, and then they give you the clamshell to, use in
Nice.
your specific way, so, but it's a nice knife. This would be a great boot knife, I think. It's a little on the
Yeah.
longer side, but definitely a good one. I like it a lot as far as fixed blades. So,
That's cool. Yeah. I
yeah.
found my Picol actually to show you as well.
Oh, sweet,
Um,
yes.
so this is it. This is it was done by Copus Design.
Ooh.
Little bit on like the smaller side, you
Oh,
know.
yeah, yeah.
One of the things that I love is they put in this little finger groove here. So when
Yeah,
you grab it, you can push off of there with your pinky when you
uh-huh.
pull it out.
I
And
love that.
then it has this little tiny, just evil little blade,
I
you know?
love that. Yes, that is a beautiful style. That's why I love Tiguous because he does a
Yeah.
lot of what looks like a lot of those. Oh man, that is nice. I like that a lot. And you
Yeah.
can obviously use that for when you're camping, processing vegetables, fruit, meat, even.
You know what's funny? I
It's like a
use this
pairing.
actually a lot of times. Like if I've got a let's say a kiwi or an apple or whatever, like I just
Yeah, yeah. It's definitely like
it's
a good little paring knife. It's
yeah,
awesome.
absolutely. And
Wow.
just, for a defensive knife, you
Oh, yeah.
just grip and rip.
Oh,
And
yeah. That's
I
nice.
like it especially that it's just such a small form factor. Like I can keep this like right above my pocket
Mhm.
and it's on my side. It doesn't show, it doesn't like print or stick out against my shirt or anything. But if like
Yeah,
worst
that's
case
perfect.
scenario, I've got
Yeah,
it, you
yeah.
know.
Yes,
Um,
absolutely. That thing's sweet.
yeah,
I
but this and the sea snake, like the sea, I interchange, which one of these I'm carrying because they're both equally useful, in my book. Like technically, this is more EDC friendly. There's no question.
Oh, yeah,
Like
definitely.
for me, like if I'm gonna do like a fixed blade down the line, it's really tough because like I'm so impressed with what's been done
Yeah,
that I would really want to spend time and put in a lot of like love and effort into getting it
perfect.
like just
Yeah.
right. Yeah, cuz like I don't know, with folding knives, I think there's a lot of creativity. Like you can have a place where this
Yeah.
exists, where this exists,
Yeah,
and this exists like all
I
at the
know,
same time.
it's so amazing how much is open to you as, a folding knife maker or designer. Yeah, you're
Yeah.
so right. and I feel like that's another reason why I'm not much of um, a fixie kind of person, but
Hmm.
I do love that special fixie. There are so many that actually speak to me, and I never
Hmm.
realized, but it's more of the ones that you showed me. I love that one by Artisan, and I love that the style of the other one. I mean, it's
Yeah.
amazing, and those would be my go-tos along with this guy right here. So I
Let
definitely
me
would
see.
recommend this to someone who is more of a folder kind of person.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna check out that harpoon. That actually looked really cool,
It is,
especially at the
yeah,
price. Like,
yeah.
oh,
It's
here we
like
go. I
60
can
bucks,
show
I think.
you. This
Oh yeah.
is the sketch for the Pakal.
Oh, oh wow. That's awesome. And are you? It looks like you're thinking more of a folder though, or
It's the first one is going to be a folder for sure, and then
awesome.
I'll adapt this into like more of
Yeah,
a fixed blade variant with like
yeah.
a finger ring on top.
Oh yes, yes. Oh God, that would be so perfect. Yeah, that is nice.
Uh,
I like that a lot.
yeah, and I'm thinking
I,
bolster lock and then a little like groove cut out here because like one of the things with Picals, especially when you're drawing them out, you know, I want it to be able to flip out, but then
uh-huh.
rotate into your hand.
Yeah.
And um, Emerson has a Pakal and it has a thumb disc, and it's weird. You kind of got to open it from this position and then
Mm-hmm.
rotate it back around. And I think that's really inefficient movement,
Yeah, it
for
is.
the kind of knife it is.
Yeah.
Um, so I'm trying to address that a bit with this design, and then, like I said, I'll do a fixed blade version of this.
Yeah. Okay. That's
So.
man. I'll I first dibs on that. I like that design a lot. I've been waiting for something unique like that that's actually in my price range. I know I hate to say bring up money and stuff like that, but
Hmm.
it's so hard to just go out and buy all of the people you love so much. I have designers that I love immensely that I don't have one single knife by because I can't afford it.
Yeah,
So it's
yeah,
like,
no,
yeah,
it's no joke. I mean, with like so many like things coming out nowadays, it's like this is coming out for 300, this is coming out for like 500, this is coming
yeah,
out for 200. It's like, dude,
absolutely.
like I appreciate it all, but how much can I really just like outlie cash wise
Yeah.
just for this when I have bills and other things in my life? You
If
know what
I
I mean?
Yeah, if I was to buy everything I love so much, I'd be homeless, to be blatantly honest. So it's crazy. I'd be divorced and living in the gutter, but I'd have my knives to keep me warm.
Exactly.
That's about it.
Now, I do have another. So, one of the things that I definitely like to do when I do like a live stream, I do like to show some crazy stuff that I have been working on.
Well, please
Um,
do. Please do.
I think the only person who may have seen this is said Stevie. I don't know if he's
Sweet.
still here or not.
Oh,
Um,
you might be. Let's see.
but Stevie, are you still around, man? Like, chirp up if you are. But this is something that I've been working on a little bit, and it's not quite finished yet. I still need to like test out ergos and all of this stuff.
Mhm.
But what do you think about that?
Let me see what you got. Oh, I gotta hide There it is. Oh, see, you got me on that one. I love that design. Um,
What do you think
I
about this little
especially
curve down here?
well, I was gonna say, now is that gonna be sharpened and then the sharpened? Okay,
It's going to be
so
sharpened. It's going to be almost like two edges here.
yeah, is it gonna be a compound grind, like a double flat, or
Yeah, it's all going to be like this is going to be one flat grind, but then this is going to be treated as like just one distinct edge, and this is going to be treated like a second edge.
nice? I
Yeah.
think that this is like. a beautiful step forward for you. I think that is gorgeous. The swedge,
Nice.
is it gonna be a trailing point or is it gonna stop right at the pivot?
It's yeah, like it's not quite a trailing point because I'm definitely not going above like the backside here,
Mhm.
but yeah, it does kind of like peak up just a little bit, you know.
Yeah, I think for self-defense and style, oh man, you nailed it. That thing's beautiful. I love the
So
way you're incorporating that darker spot. It looks like you might be going for like a double satin maybe?
so this here is going to be bolster, and
Mhm.
then um, these are going to be like big chamfers
Okay,
for
for
like
contouring.
contouring and stuff. Yeah.
Nice. But that darker spot on the blade, is that gonna be like,
Oh, yeah. This
a
is going to
black
be
or
like a flat satin.
okay.
Yeah.
That sounds beautiful. So, yeah, that I think that's what I love the most about your stuff is the fact that you do focus on a bolster even if there isn't a bolster. It's funny that I don't know why I
Yeah.
say things like that, but I feel like this bolster on this one or the bolster area is yeah, very similar to what you have going on there, and that it's like a combination of these, but with a little more style, like high-end look. Man, that
Yeah.
looks nice. I love that.
So the logic for me of that little like tip down a little
Mhm.
bit is so one of my all-time favorite knives is this guy, the
Ooh,
Easy E by Ray Laconico.
yeah, I
Um,
thought you were a big fan. I love his stuff.
oh yeah,
Okay,
huge
yeah,
fan.
yeah,
And the thing is, like, I love using this edge.
yeah.
So, like, if I'm opening up packages and stuff like that, I'll actually use that edge. I won't tip over all the way to like the actual point.
Mhm,
And with blades with belly, you
mhm.
lose that. You don't
Yeah,
have that at all. Which you can. I mean, you can always sit like with a generous belly, like on
momentum.
the momentum. You can like sink that in, you know, and just use that.
Mhm.
But I wanted something like a distinct, sharp point where you could just sink that in, use that edge to like grab into things and like
Yeah,
pull against it, you know.
yeah, absolutely, yeah. Oh,
And
that sounds
again,
great.
I see crazy stuff like this, and I'm just
Yeah,
like, okay, why can't I?
yeah. You can. I swear to God, you could show me a knife shape with boogers on it, and I would be like, "That's amazing!" Just because I love your style. I really, really love your style. Um, I don't feel
Yes.
like you could go wrong. And
No, I mean,
and I feel like I can be honest with you and say
yeah.
I do think that what you're saying and what the design of the knife looks to be, I think that you achieved a whole nother level in style, but also
Thank
utility.
you.
Yeah, sure.
it
No,
it
that's
has
awesome.
it has to be useful at the end of the day, you
Yeah,
know, like
yeah.
with yeah. So Maddie is asking in the chat, he's like, what's my desired steel and handle materials? So um generally speaking, I know that I'm going to go a little bit against the grain here, but lately I have been coming back around to S35 VN quite a
Yeah.
bit. There's a couple of reasons for that. Like, okay, don't get me wrong. I'd love to do Magna Cut, for
Mhm.
example.
Yeah.
But Magna Cut's so expensive right
Yeah.
now, it's not really practical.
Right.
Um, like, you're not going to hit a good price point with a
E
Magna Cut blade. Like, you're just
exactly.
not.
If you're trying to get these people back, then I
Right.
would stick with the S35. Like, I think
Yeah.
that is a smart decision on your part.
And for me, the advantage of S35 over, let's say, S40 or S45 or even M390 is that you have toughness.
Mhm.
And even though the toughness is like a moderate amount, I mean, we're still talking about stainless steels here.
Mhm.
Um, One of the things that really bothered me early on is I had a nice um, M390 blade that I was taking photos of, and then I dropped it and I like dented the edge, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
And I don't like knives that are that delicate. I
Yeah.
just
I
don't.
mean, yeah.
And it pisses me off, when like 14C28N can be like tough as a tank. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. I love 14C. I
Yeah,
think that that's a great way for a lot of designers to reach a lot more clientele if they I mean, let's
yeah.
talk Borka blades for a second. Their stuff is
Mhm.
so ridiculously priced, but it has earned it. You know, the stuff is beautiful. It's just
Yeah.
stuff I'll never be able to afford ever in my life unless I was a millionaire. You know, I feel
Mhm.
like each one of those are for a specific person that's obviously rich and
Yeah.
probably works in a hospital or something. I don't know, like a doctor with him, you know, and his wife
Yeah.
or whatever is a doctor as well. Like that's a
Yeah.
too rich income family home. That's how I feel.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but am I a fan? Oh God, yeah, I'm a
Oh
fan.
yeah.
It's are they practical? No, they're not. But they're and I feel like they're well made, but you can use them too. Um, I just
Yeah.
I was going somewhere with that. I was gonna say the tip. I know what you mean. This was Kaiser's S35VN though.
Yeah.
I customized this one myself.
Nice.
But I have this really terrible habit that I have really gotten over for a while now. I haven't dropped any recently, but I've been pulling them out left and right, and I'm like, damn, when did I drop that one? Yeah,
Mhm.
you should see my collection. All these knives with no tips on them. Like, oh man.
Yeah,
But
dude.
I
And
totally agree with that.
that's the thing, right? Like S35 gives you a little bit more strength to worry about that a little bit less.
Yeah.
And then also the other factor is like I don't know if a lot of people really realize this. I know Transparent Knives talks about this quite a bit, but there is no factory out there right now, and I'm talking with the exception maybe of Riot, right?
Hmm.
Uh, and Riot's knives are all 280 plus, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
There's no factory outside of maybe Riot that really can do 20 CV M390 like perfectly, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
So you
Totally
end
agree.
up paying for a premium blade steel with worse performance than S35
I
typically.
know. I totally agree with that. I mean,
So
I
what's the
don't see
point?
why people totally. Why pay for the more expensive steel so you can label it 20 CV? If it's
Hmm.
not good 20 CV, you might as well just put D2 on it, you know? I mean,
Right,
I'd rather
right.
have better well done D2 than crappy 20 CV. So I totally get that. And
Exactly.
I can
Exactly.
understand why you'd wanna stick with S35 because it's still in my eyes, it's still a super steel, but
Yeah.
it's an affordable super steel for
Right.
so many of us out there. So, yeah, I
It's
totally agree with
it's
that.
just really like frustrating from my perspective because like I'm so like believe it or not, like aesthetics aside, I'm very functional driven.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
very, very functionally driven. So like there's really not a point of having a premium steel if I'm not getting the premium steel qualities out of it. It's just
yeah,
like
absolutely.
let me throw
I
my
mean,
money away.
yeah, I mean, if I'm getting 20 CV, I don't wanna have to sharpen it twice, not even twice a year. And, what I mean by sharpen is not strop, but put an edge on
Right,
it. I should only
right.
have to sharpen that once a year. That's my opinion, and it also, of course, it depends on how much you use your knife. So
Right.
it's it's well, it's up to your interpretation. If
Yeah.
you are the type of person that this is 20 CV, I've never sharpened this yet, and
Kaiser is doing a good job with their 20 CV. I'm not gonna lie.
yeah, I bought this 3 years ago, and I have never sharpened it. I
Yeah.
struck it once. This thing is pretty amazing. It still has a
Yeah.
very tacky edge, and they put a really good edge on their stuff. I've come to expect it from them. Their edges come so sharp that it
Mm-hmm.
they have maybe I'll say 90% of the time I get a knife from Kaiser. They're very well done as far as fit and finish and sharpened
Yeah.
very well.
Yeah.
So
That's
yeah, I
why, like,
definitely like it.
I'm in talks right now with Kaiser to potentially OEM my first, like, official Manganas steel knife.
Oh man,
Yeah.
yeah, that sounds awesome. I'm
Like,
so
I
excited for you.
was impressed with how they handled the Grazioso, honestly.
Yeah,
Um, and even the premium version was done perfectly to my expectations.
yeah, yeah. That's nice.
So, yeah, and I know that they do a good job with S35 as
Oh
well.
yeah,
So,
definitely.
um, yeah, I'm leaning towards them. We'll see if the numbers make sense.
Yeah,
Um, the only downside, and I feel I can talk about this publicly.
sure.
My design initially called for a 4 millimeter thick blade,
Mm-hmm.
and they don't have stock thick enough for that. So they
Hmm.
want me to downsize the blade to 3.5 mil thick,
Wow.
which will make it better for like EDC slicing.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know, man. Like I am a sucker for 4 millimeter thick plates.
Yeah, yeah. Like
Like
3.7 to 4 is a sweet spot if you beat the crap out of your knives. You know that is such a sweet spot.
and it's well,
Um.
and here's the thing. Like I'm with this particular design. If you guys followed me back when I was sharing my designs on my Instagram, I
Mhm.
stopped because one of my designs basically got copied by one of the big factories,
Oh,
whose name I will not mention.
yeah.
Um, but it's the Kaimano, which is a big Tonto kind of knife,
Mm-hmm.
and but it has a hollow grind,
Ooh.
and so 4 mil with a hollow grind is
Ooh.
nice.
Wicked, wicked. That would be
Yeah.
amazing. Oh God, yeah. I'm ready. I'm ready for it. They better take that shit on. So,
Oh, now a
sounds so
couple
good.
of people have mentioned, yeah, like, dude, ZT does a good job with 20 CV. I got
Yeah,
no beef with ZT. They do a good job, but ZT also hasn't had a new knife design in God knows how long. Like, come on.
yeah. It's
They
crazy.
did
They're just
the
they're
308, I think, and like that's it. Like, come
yeah.
on, guys.
Like I mean, I think there's a reason I have zero tolerance knives. It's because they're not around anymore. I feel like they're retiring slowly. But I do. I'm not
It's a
saying I don't
shame.
like them. I just I can't really speak on their steel or anything because I've never I actually when early on when I was still naive and I bought a couple knives off of Wish. That's I probably shouldn't have to say
Yeah.
anything else. I got a fake Benchmade and I got a fake ZT. Um,
hmm
but I don't know. I think that it's just messed up. I can't believe that people can do that. I mean, I
Oh
don't know. I
yeah.
don't want to get
Yeah, yeah.
started on that because I will. I just think it's so disrespectful. And then I should have done more research. You know, what 4 years ago or whatever. I should have done way more research into that before buying them like, oh, why would anybody spend $100+ on this knife when you can get it for like 16?
Oh, now here's the thing. If you're gonna get a CT, I got the one you got to get. You
Okay.
have to. Like it's and Patina will agree with me. Patina Turner. He
Mm-hmm.
and I bonded over this a long
Nice.
time ago. It is the ZT 0640.
Oh,
It
yeah.
is a big knife. There's no question about it. But it is
Oh,
perfection.
I love that knife, and I love the Sinkovich designs. Those are really
Yes.
the most appealing to me by Zero Tolerance. Man, yeah, I like that
Dude.
a lot. Yeah, Patina shows that one off all the time in our Discord. It's so funny.
Oh yeah.
I
I
love it.
mean,
It's a
this
beauty.
thing is perfection in my opinion. Uh it's hard for me to imagine designing a knife like this that's better than this, to be 100% honest.
Hmm.
The ergos are beautiful.
Oh
The
yeah,
blade, the 20 CV that they did on it actually is one of the best.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
and you can get like beautiful scales for it. Some people complain about the clips. Personally,
Oh,
I don't mind mine, but
hmm,
I typically wear this with jeans, and it goes in and out no problem. But
nice. Yeah, that is a
dude,
beauty. Yeah, that one came out in like 2016 or 17, didn't it?
yeah, it's a variation on an Emerson design called the Viper. He
Mm-hmm.
did a series called the Viper series, and the original Viper, believe it or not, this is already like almost a 4-inch blade.
Mm-hmm.
The original Viper was bigger than this.
Wow.
And like,
That's
yeah, you can see it's already
oh
a
yeah.
sizable knife.
Yeah, knowing how big your hands are, I see. That's so
Yeah,
funny.
like, and the Viper made this knife look small.
I know I noticed Emerson does some crazy stuff like that. Like, I mean, he's
Oh,
definitely the working man's knife. Well, the working man's man knife. I don't know. The stuff it's it's not quite my stuff, my kind of stuff. I am not a fan of the way the wave feature looks on some of his knives.
yeah,
Yeah,
there's a serious Emerson for you.
that is that is exactly what I pictured when I started talking about his stuff. That thing is
Yeah,
crazy. Like you
recurve
could
with a
survive.
Tonto.
Yeah,
Like, yeah, yeah.
that
If
is a
if I need to go
ridiculous.
and bug out, and I
Yeah,
need to take like one knife,
you can
I'm
survive
I'm
with
grabbing
that.
for this guy.
That one is probably, I would have to agree with that one. That looks ridiculously amazing. You could survive with that for years in the wilderness.
Yeah. I will say, the one thing that a lot of people don't talk about with the Emersons that really pissed me off about this, um, Emerson uses exceedingly light detents,
Yeah,
um, and like to the point where this knife would actually open up in my pocket.
yeah. I don't like
Um,
that. That's scary.
yeah, so I actually sent it back to Emerson twice because I
Wow.
was like, "Oh, this can't be real,"
No. Yeah.
So actually, Ernie Emerson got on the phone with me and he was like, "Explain to me exactly what you want, and I'll do it for you." And he
Wow.
actually bent over the lock bar for me. So mine actually really like it doesn't drop. It's like it
Yeah.
really pops now.
Yeah.
And I don't care. Like people say, oh, it needs to be light for the wave feature. It
No.
doesn't.
It's
This thing still
an unsafe.
waves.
Yeah, an unsafe knife is an unsafe knife, and a really light detent is not safe.
No, and
Um.
especially on a knife like this. Like,
Yeah.
come on, bro. Like,
Right. You don't want that opening up in your freaking pocket. No. It,
no.
I have one, honestly. I don't I'm not going to trash talk or anything like that, but because I
Yeah.
do love the knife, but the concept or yeah, the concept helix, that it's a larger knife. Let's see. That one
Yeah.
opened. It had such a light detent. It opened in my pocket, and when you stick your hand in your pocket, it was my left hand. It
Mm.
sliced the whole side underneath my pinky though, and
Oh.
because yeah, I know it's like the point went up under my nail, and I was camping
Oh.
too, so my hands were filthy on top of it. And
Jesus.
that's why I know you just can't mess around with a light detent. No,
Yeah, no, you
Kubi
definitely can't.
Kubi sometimes has a light detent, so I usually do some adjusting to theirs myself because I don't.
I will say they've gotten better about their detents.
I agree. Yeah.
They're getting stronger. They're getting a little bit more like so here's an interesting like side note about that. When I first got started, I actually had to specifically like tell them that I wanted a stronger detent in my knife designs.
Oh,
And I discovered that part of the reason why a lot of the Chinese knife manufacturers used to do lighter detents on their knives was because, like, in the Asian market, some people would complain that it would actually cause them some pain when they
yeah,
had a stiffer detent.
yeah,
Um, but for
yeah.
some reason, us in like America, we don't have that issue as much, so
Yeah.
we tend to prefer stronger detents, for example, than the Asian markets.
Oh, yeah. No, I
Which is
agree with
very
that.
just interesting kind of anecdote, like
Yeah,
different human anatomy things,
it is weird. I think maybe we just have tougher skin. I don't know.
maybe, man.
There's there are some of my thumb stud knives with such a good detent that when I hit it with my finger or my thumb, my thumb will be torn up by the end of the day. But
Oh
that's how
yeah,
you get your callus, you got to just work
yeah.
through the pain. I would rather have a nice little detent so it snaps out like that and I feel
Yeah,
secure than, having it just fall out. you know. This
yeah,
thing
yeah,
is
yeah.
this one just came in yesterday. It's such a nice little piece too. Very
Yeah,
nice.
that's a cool one. I like
Dirk
that.
Pinkerton. Yeah,
Is
Dirk
that
Pinkerton.
the critical or
This
what is
one,
it called?
this is the mini Main Street, and then this
Oh,
is
okay.
the Shard by Kaiser.
Yeah, the Dirk Pinkerton designs.
Yeah, I have the large or regular version of this, the main, and I love that knife. That thing
Oh
is
yeah.
definitely very utilitarian. These things,
Yeah.
it just this one. The only difference is the Kaiser. It's hard to see on camera. The lighting's not very good, but the Kaiser has the slightest bit of belly. This one is
Oh,
a
okay.
true Warncliffe, like full
Nice.
length. Yeah, great box cutter, man. Oh my
Oh
gosh,
yeah. Dude,
great
and Dirk
builder.
Pinkerton's a good designer, like good maker.
Excellent.
There's
Yeah.
no question about that.
I love his stuff. Yeah. He seems like a pretty straightforward person too. I've
Oh
never
yeah.
talked to him, but just from what I gather, it's that's what I gather. So that's
Yeah.
awesome. Um wow, this has
Yeah,
been
that's
so amazing. I can't believe that you're on my show right now. It's I'm so thankful that
dude, I'm
you
happy to
decided to
be.
join us. Yeah.
Honestly, like for me, like I'm down to talk knives with anybody. You know what
Heck
I
yeah.
mean? Like I'm
Oh yeah.
not
That's
hoity-toity
awesome.
about anything. You
That's awesome. I
know?
know, you're so down to earth, it's crazy. I kind of feel like, like it's like you're a real person. You don't
I
take
hope
that
so.
celebrity. I know, otherwise, man, what a great robot you make. But there's
No,
just
but I
those
mean,
people that
at
act
the
like
end of the
celebrities.
day, no, it's just knives. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And even if people like get to know you and know who you are, like, so what? Like,
yeah.
how back when I was like in school, one of my friends was really scared to approach this chief of design for BMW,
Mhm.
and like the guy is was very famous and really well known,
Hmm.
and she like was scared literally to like talk to him. And you know what I told her? I was like, dude, we're all human beings. We all wake up in the morning. We rub the
Yeah.
crust out of our eyes. We all go to
Yep.
the bathroom, take a shit,
Yep.
like
Yeah.
shower, our armpits stink. Like, we're all humans at the end of the
Exactly.
day,
Yeah.
right? Like,
Absolutely. I
nobody
think a
is
lot of
above
people forget
anybody
that.
else.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
you
That's
know?
funny that you bring that up. I just had an issue with that, and there's not a lot of drama in the knife community, but there
Hmm.
been weird stuff going on lately. I won't even uh mention it because it's not worth it. But yeah, it's just
Yeah.
funny that you're saying that because that's my point. The point I was trying to convey to that person was it's just a human being. That's it. You're the same exact thing. You don't get
Yeah.
to judge or do whatever. But yeah, that's what I
Yeah.
really enjoy about you. I think you're a good person in that
Oh, thank
aspect,
you.
you know. And
I
yeah,
mean, yeah, like I don't know, man. Like, life is too short, and if you really like, my perspective is, if you need to look down on people, then you really need to like look into yourself and see what's missing.
yeah,
You know,
yeah,
like, I try to
absolutely.
be as happy and in on top of like my life as I can, and
Yeah, me too.
like
Yeah, yeah,
everybody's just trying to survive and be happy, and
yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah. Isn't that what we're all
Like,
here for? You know, and
yeah,
like just creating division is just making life harder in the long run. And so
it
let's
is.
just move on. Just get over it, and move on. You know.
Yeah,
So yeah,
exactly.
yeah,
Exactly. Yes, I agree. We're all mushy meat sacks.
yeah.
you
Squirrels
know?
squirrels do take showers, from what I understand, but I think Satisfaction can answer that for sure. But oh,
yeah,
this
man.
sucks though. I do have to work tonight. I don't normally work on Sundays.
Oh,
I
yeah.
I just I do today, and it sucks because the one time that I do have to work on a Sunday is the day that I get to talk with you on my show. So it's been yeah. I
It's all
can't
good.
tell you
I'm
how
happy
much.
to come back, honestly,
Oh,
anytime you want me
I'd
to.
love that.
So,
I'd love that. That would be great. Hopefully, next
yeah.
time I have you on, it'll be with your new knife. That would be
Oh,
so
yeah.
cool.
Fingers crossed.
Oh yeah, I'm all about that. I'm first in line. um, yeah, we'll definitely talk again. I really I can't thank you enough. I mean, not just
Absolutely.
for coming on the show, but for being an awesome human being, designing beautiful knives,
Oh,
and
thank
not
you. Thank
thinking I'm
you.
weird for wanting your logo on my hands. So,
Dude, I need to send you the new one,
okay.
so you can
Yeah,
decide between like the old and new, whichever one you like.
will do. Definitely.
Now,
That's awesome.
before we like wrap anything up, I'm just
Mhm.
gonna tell everybody, yo, smash the like button for this. Like, please give
Thank
her
you.
some engagement, leave some comments below, like,
Thank you.
definitely the I do a little bit of YouTube stuff. I know that shit helps with the algorithm. So,
Yeah,
yo, I need to see that like number going up, please.
thank you. Thank you so much, Sherry.
Of
That's
course.
awesome. Thank you. That's wonderful. I love this, and I'll be stopping back. Maybe I can be a guest on your channel sometime. I don't have
Oh
much
yeah.
to show, but my collection is pretty big.
No, like, that's the thing. Like, I definitely want to get into that and talk with people who are like yourself, who are reviewing a lot of knives, because I'm always very curious about the people who get exposed to a lot,
Yeah.
what they are, what they're seeing that's working, and what they see that's not working,
Okay. That's
and like
that's a good
what's
subject.
successful in the design world, from, or like in the knife world from a design perspective. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
absolutely.
because you have the unique opportunity to, like, you guys get into friendships and pass around groups and all of this
Yeah.
stuff. So, like, you get exposed to a lot more than even the average consumer.
Yeah.
or even me. Like I don't get anything for free except my own designs.
Yeah. And I really
you
hope they
know,
don't sell you your own designs.
I
Like
mean, I
counterintuitive.
have had to buy one or two here and there. Like I'm not gonna lie, but for the most part, the companies are good about sending me my stuff.
Oh, good. Just
Oh, and
I can
I will
imagine.
leave you with this little bit of news.
Okay.
The Veloce is going to be coming out in S90V.
Ooh, one of my favorites.
Yes.
Ooh.
So that's the steel that, okay, like from the options that I had, I did choose to go for S30V for this one,
Mm-hmm.
for the first run. And then I told them what I really do want is an S90V version. I think it suits the whole concept, you
Oh yeah,
know?
it does. Oh yeah. This thing is a
So,
beast, a very slender, stylistic beast. It's amazing.
yeah. So look out for that. The S90V version of the Veloce is coming, and I have the brother to this one, the Merced, and that is
Ooh.
hopefully coming out soon as well.
Also a Kubi?
These, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh wow.
These are part of my initial like automotive design inspired knives that I did back in like 2019.
Nice. Well, I love this. I thought it was slightly alien looking and like
Yeah.
futuristic, but I love it. I think it's great. It's a wonderful design as far as uh it could it could work for so many things as far as like you can use it for even bushcrafting if you wanted, but
hmm
for as far as protection, these two pointy ends, well, obviously we know what'll happen with that one, but this one,
Yeah.
that's a skull crusher if I ever saw one. So,
And those are subtle things that I think you're like the only one who picked up on that. Like
oh yeah. Hey,
because
yeah.
it was meant to be beautiful
Oh,
and
yeah.
even like the the way the blade is shaped, it was
Yeah.
intended to be thinner in the grind here and it thickens up here at the
Yeah.
tip.
Yeah.
So you do have that reinforced tip for,
It's not
like
dainty.
stabbing motions. But then,
Yeah.
yeah, you do have this that if you need to,
Oh,
again,
yeah.
it serves as a functional, beautiful design, but also, yeah, if you need it,
Yep.
it's there for you.
This is a perfect one. It's in my these most of your designs honestly are in my top 10.
Oh,
You
thank
take up
you.
about 4 spots in my top 10. It's kind of crazy, you know. I just love the stuff. I just love it. I mean, at least these 3 are in my top as far as designs go and usage is you, with every aspect of usage too. This one
Appreciate
is
that.
my favorite budget beater. Like this is an
Yeah.
awesome knife, and I would love to see this in titanium. I would love to.
The original design was actually in full titanium, believe it or
Oh
not.
my god, this thing
Yeah.
would be so good in titanium.
Dude, a little bit more
Oh,
slender, a little bit like just
yeah.
smooth with the titanium would be. And
Oh yeah.
Kubi kind of like shied away just a little bit from doing like full
Oh god, they
like
do. This thing was so well done. The fit
yeah.
and finish was spectacular on this. The fact that
Mm-hmm.
the cutout relief is on the inside. I mean, every little
Yeah.
detail of this knife was done so freaking well.
I
So,
was
hell yeah.
it's funny because like yeah, I spec all of that and when I do my designs.
Yeah.
And when I hand them the models and everything, like
Mhm.
all of those things I put in there. The thing that impressed me most actually is this.
Yeah.
This transition here is something that you only see like on automotive like surfacing, the
Yeah.
way it kind of like twists a little
Oh yeah.
bit.
Yeah. That's
And
perfect.
for
God.
them to like mill that is it's not easy actually from like a machining point of view.
Oh,
and they did
yeah,
it.
they did very
Like,
well. I
yeah.
mean,
So
yeah, this thing's a masterpiece. Oh my God.
thank you, thank
Yeah,
you.
I love it.
Yeah,
Really.
I can't wait for the S90V version. It's I'm
Ooh,
super
yeah,
excited for that.
yeah. Because I wanted to do the opposite, tuxedo. Is it, or what do you
Oh
call it?
yeah,
Yeah, that one actually with the black blade, if they have it.
yeah,
Oh man,
dude.
yeah. It's gonna be beautiful, and I'll definitely be getting one. Yeah.
Well, don't let me
Yeah.
keep you if you got to
Yeah.
get to work.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. I better get going. But man, I am really happy that you decided to come on and join us today. It was so fun. I really
Oh,
enjoyed this a
me.
lot.
I had a great time too. Thank you for
Sweet.
having me. I really
Yeah.
appreciate it.
Anytime. We'll do it again.
For sure. Anytime you want.
Okie doke. So I'll see you soon.
All right. Take care, guys.
You too.